We're gonna work on some Ninpo Taijutsu flow drills using joint lock. So joint lock flow drills, and if you stick around, I'm gonna show you how to translate these techniques from standing to the ground. Okay, let's go. For technique number one, we're gonna start with like a traditional grip here. I'm gonna remove this grip here, okay, to take that grip away from my sleeve. So I remove that first grip. Now I'm gonna catch the gi, bring my hand here, and I'm gonna bring the hand off of my collar. When I do this technique, I want to make sure that I'm not in range to get punched here. So from here, if I just mess around with this, I'm getting punched with that hand. Because remember, this isn't going to hurt us. Unless he's going to use that dominant hand to throw us, that's not really going to hurt us. But it's that hand that's going to hurt me, whether he has a weapon in the hand or maybe he just has his fist. So when I come here, I'm going to move at an angle so that I'm not going to get punched by that hand. I'm going to be off that angle. Now I'm going to apply my basic outside wrist lock, a mote gyaku. And from this technique, he's pretty strong, so he's gonna move his hand that way, that direction, so I can't get the lock, and I'm gonna bring my arm underneath and make the first shoulder lock. So when his arm is bent like this, I have a shoulder lock. And if I wanted to take him down from here, I'm just gonna lift up, and I'm just gonna turn in a circle. Can I take you down, Nick?
Yes, you can.
Here we go. Sometimes when I go for this lock, their arm goes straight. So now his arm's straight here, so I'm not able to get the arm to bend. No problem. Now I'm gonna go for what I call the arm crush arm bar. So I'm here like this. I'm gonna bring my elbow on top of his elbow. I'm gonna grab my gi or my shoulder. I'm gonna push down on my elbow that's on top of his elbow, and it's gonna lock his arm and break his arm in this space. So there we go, that's a straight arm bar. There was straight arm bar. Now, sometimes I have the straight arm bar and he brings the arm away, like he escapes it from my head. So he's a pretty squirmy guy and he escaped. Oh, he's escaped. So now I'm right back to the wrist lock, and that's our first flow drill. So from here I have the wrist lock, he bends the arm, I come under for a bent arm bar, but if I don't get that, I get a straight arm bar, and if he removes this, here we are. You want to try one, Nick?
Sure. Here, go under, here,
Bent.
he escapes, go back to square one.
Right back. That's a good one. So that's a very basic flow drill that you can practice on your own or you can practice with your class. Now we're starting with a head tie-up. Something that is a lot more practical because we live in a very grappling-oriented culture right now. So a lot of guys will instantly clinch and go for head tie-ups, whether they're looking for knees or whether they're looking for takedowns. We're in this head tie-up, so I come here and escape. The same techniques can be done right now. So when he's here, I can come this way and I can catch his wrist. And I can turn here, and then if he defends, I can come back around. I have a bent arm bar or I have a straight arm bar, just like that. It's the same move, but from the head tie-up. But from that head tie-up, we also have an extra option, and that's attempting a straight arm bar right away. So when I'm here and I come like this, if I want to lift his arm up, wherever the pinky finger is, that's going to be in line with his elbow. So if I bite down on his arm here and I lift his arm up this way, I have a really tight shoulder lock. We could drop into that shoulder lock too, but I don't think I want to do that right now, Nick.
Yeah, we're good.
Be careful with that if you try that one. But in actual jiu-jitsu matches a long time ago, I've applied that one. From here, if he bends his arm to escape, I'm right back into the drill we just had, right? And he bends his arm this way. Here's a bent arm bar. Here's a straight arm bar. So you see we're flowing it all together. You want to try it, Nick?
Yeah, sure.
So here we go. We're here like this. Now, oh, he's got a straight arm bar on me. He's just lifting my arm up and keeping pressure down. But if I'm strong and I bend it, he's right back. And then if I turn out of this one, the shoulder lock, straight arm bar, we're right back to where we were. Another aspect of this drill can be utilizing momentum to catch that wrist lock. Nick, you did this one really good to me. I felt it really, really good. So let's have you try it once. So from here, when he applies this here, instead of having my arm, my pinky facing up, it's facing to his side. So if he pulls me, whoa, he has a lot of momentum because I have to follow or my arm's gonna break. So go ahead and do that again. So when he pulls that way, I have to follow him or it puts my elbow in a really bad position. So when I follow him, he now can apply the wrist lock back here. And if I come here, we're back to this one. And if I come here, we're back to this one, right? So we put it all together. I'm gonna apply that one on you once, Nick.
All right.
So if we're here, I can apply this way, and he has to follow me. If he doesn't follow me, his arm's gonna be in a dangerous position. One thing that we didn't work on, but I can show you guys, is if you wanna add something to that, you can make it so they can't follow you.
Oh boy.
And you can lock their arm right there. Nice, hey? And that leads us to a whole new flow drill series. But to get that series, you're gonna have to check out teamthirdheaven.com and visit our whole curriculum. That's in that curriculum. So anyways, here we go. I can stop him, or I can let him follow me and go right back to the flow drill. My opponent in the wrist lock, they may take their other hand and push their hand out to escape. Okay, so let's see that again. So I'm here. Now I'm on this side, so I can grab his wrist here. Not his wrist, but more like his knuckles, because I want to leave that spot in his wrist open. So I'm not grabbing the wrist, but I'm grabbing the knuckles, and I'm taking my forearm, and I'm putting it over the top of his arm to apply the submission hold. That's a good one, right? This one comes on fast, and it's a painful one. Here we go, just like that. Now, if I lose this position because it slips, I'm back to our other techniques. Now we're on the left side, or the opposite side. If we're here, go ahead and do that again. I might lose the position because he could take his free hand and he could push my elbow up, relieving that pressure, and then still I have to go back to my last techniques. So I'm turning the wrist out. He takes this hand, he blocks. I drive my forearm over his wrist. He pushes the elbow up. And now I'm right back to where we started. I could lock him here. I could come here, okay? Back to the shoulder lock, back to the elbow lock. Hey, we're gonna hit the ground in a minute. But before we hit the ground, we're just gonna kind of train these techniques a little bit so we can show you guys how they look and flow. And what I wanna say is when I first started Japanese Jiu-Jitsu, and when I first started Ninpo, it was very rigid and structured. And so it was very much, which is okay. You know, I'm not trying to like make fun of a whole art. I'm not doing that, but it's okay. But it was like then like we're here. And then I'll do the move to you. Very rigid and structured. But real combat is not rigid and structured like that. Real combat is flowing and it's in motion. And real self-defense happens in motion. The self-defense doesn't happen where someone just grabs you and is like that. You know, it doesn't happen like that. It's moving. They're moving you and you're moving. It's all moving around. And so as I started practicing these techniques like this in motion, in flow drills, they started working for me in real grappling matches. And so that's why I like to teach my martial art this way. I've had some YouTube comments and they're like, this isn't authentic ninjutsu. No, this isn't authentic ninjutsu. It's way better because it actually works. So this would actually work. And I've made it work in jiu-jitsu matches. And so against someone who's actually fighting against me, right? So I like to put all these in a flow. We're gonna play around with this real quick, but coming up, I'm gonna show you how you can translate all of this to the ground. All right, you go, you throw me around a little bit.
All right, I want to go this way. Go that way to fight me. Here. Go this way.
You go.
Ooh. Nope, not a pretty start for me.
Okay, so now what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna show you guys how you can translate flow drills like this on the ground. Because when I train on the ground, everything goes from a step-by-step process. There's always a flow drill involved. So this is how we can translate this on the ground. It's gonna be a little different because the ground is different. The ground, it immobilizes our opponent, it stabilizes their opponent, it makes the submission holds actually much easier because they can't move out of it. But because they can't move out of it, the options are oftentimes a little different as well. So we're gonna do this one from the guard, okay? So I'm in the guard position. And now from here, Nick's gonna use his hand to push my knee down to open my guard, which is a mistake. This isn't how you would open your guard in Jiu-Jitsu, but it's a common mistake that people might make. So now I have this gap here that I can feed my hand through, and I can cup his elbow, and I can turn his arm to make the shoulder lock. Now to make the shoulder lock, I'm not just gonna use my arm strength, but I'm gonna use my whole body. So the way that I do that is I scoot my body out, and then I bend his arm like this. I'm gonna show you guys from multiple angles so you can see it, but right now my leg's up over him so he can't roll out, and I'm bending the arm. I can feel his arm already going straight. So if his arm goes straight, I then apply a straight arm bar, just like you saw before. Let's see that from a little different angle. Let's go like this. He pushes my knee, I come here, and now I have this bent arm bar like this. So I have a good bent arm bar, but if he straightens his arm, I can come up and make a straight arm bar. I call it the arm crunch arm bar. If I miss this one, from standing up, you remember we did a wrist lock. But instead of the wrist lock, I'm just gonna bring my leg over his head like this. His pinky's here, and now I'm gonna apply the straight arm bar. Now, to go back from the shoulder lock for that, it's not actually the basic shoulder lock because I already have my leg over. So if I'm attempting a straight arm bar and his arm bends, oh, it bent, I have a wrist lock option, or I can sit up and I can create an omoplata. That's a good one, right, Nick?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to show you, sorry buddy.
Oh, good.
So I just wanted to show you how we can apply those techniques from standing to the ground also. And I think a good martial artist should be able to apply the moves from standing on the ground. They definitely translate that way. And if you look at ninjutsu and Japanese Jiu-Jitsu as being a predecessor of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and the grappling martial arts, you should be able to take your techniques and translate them to the ground like that. And so that's something we strive to do with all of our techniques. If you want to learn more, we have complete curriculums in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, traditional martial arts such as Ninpo Taijutsu, traditional weapons at teamthirdheaven.com. I hope to see you guys there.